channel. We are on our way to Hydro Fusion Hydro Printing. That's a tongue twister. We are going to see if we can't get a few of these Camaro parts hydro printed, see how they're going to turn out. I also joined the Evan squad here, the Shank squad. I have another nail in my tire as well, so we got to get that taken care of, and then we're gonna head back to the shop and see what we got going on there. All right guys, we're back at the shop. We just left the hydro printing place. I'm not gonna show y'all what we're doing yet to all the special pieces that we're doing with hydro printing, but I'm super excited, and we'll show you this later. All right guys, well, we're back at the shop from the hydro printing place, and I don't know if y'all remember this car, but this is the very first car we ever did an episode of Tuned On. I believe we're going for some huge power, but this is a single overhead cam motor in this, but this thing makes mad power. Hey buddy.
Hey.
Hey. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. Yeah, what's going on with this?
So we've already made quite a few pulls today on the new turbo. He had a GT 2871. Now we have a GTX 3071, I think it is. So it should make a little bit more power. It's definitely already making a bit more torque. I don't know if you want to go over there and look at the overlay. The green plot is what we did.
Hold on.
Okay, so that green line is our previous pulls many months ago, and it did, I think, 375 was our peak power, and the red is our new pull. So you can see how we've definitely gained some spool and we've gained some mid-range here on the new turbo, and we're on less boost right now, so hopefully in a minute this red line will peak up and stay above that green line. So I think we're at 18 PSI right now, and I believe this was about 22 PSI previously. So with less boost, we're making more torque, and we're making pretty close to the same peak power, but we're gonna get there and probably on our next boost increase.
Yeah. Can you give us a little background of this car again?
It is a single cam. I believe it's all Ford stuff, so pretty well built.
Yeah.
I think it's a CSS block even. And turbo kit, E85, 1000cc injectors, Walbro 450 in the back, so we shouldn't have any limitation as far as fuel. We're gonna take this thing up on boost until
it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, until we make it. All right, let's get to it. I forgot this thing's really loud now, isn't it?
During the run. But power went down. Why?
Power went down a little bit.
A lot of it.
A lot of it. Alright, did you change anything?
Yeah, so I made some fueling changes. The previous run, we were going a little lean in the top end, so it made really good peak power. I added some fuel in, and now we went a little bit rich, so it brought that peak power significantly down. It was about 20 horsepower that it brought it down by running at, it was basically a 10.9 air fuel instead of 12.2, 12.3.
Yeah.
12.2, 12.3 is too lean. Really I want to be at like a 11.8, 11.9.
Okay.
That difference between 11.8, 11.9 and 10.9 apparently is about 20 horsepower.
Yeah, exactly. I do apologize about it being dark. It is super cold outside today, so we're all hunkered up here trying to stay warm.
It's like a couple of our lights are not working as a result of the cold. Like that LED strip there only has one bar on it.
Yeah, that's all we're working with right now. All right, so some pretty good power on that pool.
Yeah, that was like 20 to 21 pounds.
Okay.
And so we're sitting at 360. I think previously we ran a few more pounds, but we did end up about 15 horsepower higher than we're at right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, we are doing, I know last time he was in here, we were reading the dyno from the optical pickup, and now we're reading from roller speed. It might be a little bit different there.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different day. It seems like this is optimum temperature and weather today, most likely. So while we are seeing a big torque gain right now, we're not seeing, maybe not seeing much peak horsepower gain, which kind of expect to when you go from the 28 non-GTX series to the X series. So I'm kind of looking, thinking, where am I missing some
horsepower
from? I probably need to look at a spark plug in a minute and get an idea on the ignition timing and see if I can ramp some more timing into it or what. It's kind of a weird motor because it doesn't rev very high and it makes its peak torque very high. So like the most sensitive spot of the map is actually like, usually it's kind of in the middle of the map, but this car makes peak torque late and doesn't rev high. So the sensitive part is really right there at the top end. So usually you'd hit your peak torque and then you'd ramp in timing after the peak torque. But I've kind of got peak torque, rev limiter.
Yeah.
So I got nowhere to go as
Where do you
far
think
as,
the peak RPM is on this motor?
I mean, it's got stock valve train and stock cam, and it's definitely like a gas mileage oriented motor as its life begins. So, I mean, I think it starts to fall off greatly above 6,000 RPM.
About 6,000.
You know, the fuel map, you know, is ramping up, and then once you hit 6,000, and you got to start really pulling fuel back because the efficiency of the motor is falling off hard there.
Yeah.
And that's that lay down you can see in the top end there. It's not too bad. I mean, I've done a lot.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Hold it out, but if he had, like we were just talking about that, if he said he's going to do a ported head and a cam in here, and with those two changes, you can kind of make the economy motor into pretty equivalent to like the K-series
nice high revving. Yep. All right, sweet. All right, 374, 364. All righty.
Okay, so we're back at the peak number we did on the previous turbo.
I'm sorry, I have no eardrum right now in my right ear, like, at all. Golly. Thing is loud. All right, sweet. 374, 364. That's a nice pull. So what changes have you made?
Oh, well, I keep bouncing back and forth between too much fuel, not enough fuel, too much fuel, not enough. And we're also like escalating boosts a little bit each time, so I'm chasing a moving variable right now. Okay. So that pull was a little bit leaner than I'd like it to be for the very top RPM. So I'm going to add in a little bit of fuel there. That might even bring power down by 5 horsepower. So
but it's going to be safer.
But we'll keep adding a little bit more boost in. I mean, we're at 65% duty cycle on the injectors, so we got plenty of fuel to go. No reason to stop anywhere near here yet. Okay, so that last pull and the pull before that, they both ramped quite lean pretty abruptly, which caused me to get out of it. And you can see, so the red line is our fueling, and you see it chilling. Okay, that's right where we want it, 11.7, and that's as lean as we want it while we're really in boost, is 12.2. I'd like for that to be a little bit richer, but that's only 4 pounds, so no big deal. 12.1 at 10 pounds. Would like that to be just a tiny bit richer, but also still fine, as long as pretty much once we're under 12.5, we're good. Here though, man, you see how it starts to really ramp off, boom, up to 13.3, and then I got out of it. But you can see how, so at 21 pounds, we're totally good. 11.8, as soon as that boost bumps up, it ramps really much leaner than it should, given that I know the table. So there's the map line for 20 pounds, and there's the map line for 25. So you see how much more fuel is being asked for on that 25 pounds. So it seems like we're probably running out of something, and I was thinking that, so I started thinking about the fuel pressure that we're at, which is 60 psi, which is a bit high. The factory fuel pressure, this car doesn't have a return line from the factory, so they've added the fuel pressure regulator and the return line, and we're at 60 psi. So once we add the 22 pounds of boost, our fuel pressure regulator is going to have fuel pressure up at 80 plus psi. And even though we have a Walbro 450, the pump's ability to push diminishes as the pressure rises. And I think it starts to fall off, especially once we're in that 80 psi plus range. So what we're probably going to do in a minute is reduce the fuel pressure and add in more duty cycle. I have plenty of injector,
65% right now?
Yeah, 65% duty cycle. So I have plenty of headroom on the injectors to add more. But what I want to do is bring my fuel pump back down to a pressure that it's happier at, that it
so it runs more efficient.
More at. So just to note, like, I mean, more pressure does not always mean more
fuel.
Flow. You have to consider what's happening in boost and what is that pressure doing dynamically versus what is it just sitting at static. We might end up with it down at 40 psi. In some cases, we go below the factory fuel pressure, say 35 psi. As long as the car runs happily there, as long as you have the headroom in the fuel system, then
and you're not running at 100% duty cycle.
You would prefer not to be coming up into those 80 plus psi, 100 psi fuel pressure ranges if possible to stay out of those. I don't know if it's accurate or not.
I don't know if it's accurate or not, but
we're about to see.
We're about to see.
It looks accurate.
Oh.
Oh, and then it's gonna pop up as $3.99 with no smoothing. But there it is, right at 400 wheel.
Yeah.
It still went. It definitely went too lean at one point there. It was right on the borderline of where I'm like, yeah, better get out. Let's stay in it. Get out. Oh, let's stay in it.
Yeah.
E85, you can stay in it usually.
Yeah.
But you know, pump gas, you got to get out.
Survey's gonna say 414 and 401. God dang. All right.
So that's good. That's, you know, we're what?
Y'all have to remember, this is a single overhead cam motor.
We're like 40 wheel horsepower up from our previous high number, which was, I think, was some kind of record for an R18, or at least like up there in the top couple of guys power-wise for like a street R18. So that's pretty cool. It's still going in the mid-range. It goes absolutely too lean for us to leave it here, though. We have to figure out why is it doing that and correct that problem, because it's not
it's not healthy.
It's not something I can fix in the tune. It's either
mechanical.
It's some kind of mechanical. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get. All right, we're going to do one final pull to determine if the fuel delivery system has a problem or not. It could be that this still has stock wiring to the fuel pump, and so it's not getting the correct voltage to the fuel pump. We'll see. We're going to do one final pull here, see what kind of power it makes, and then chase some problems. Better. And a little drop in power. still kind of going lean there?
Right in the danger zone, too.
Right in the danger zone.
Right in the danger zone.
Highway to the...
We are like living in the danger zone.
Let's go see what it did. Oh, that's disappointing.
The run was very clean, very good. No lean spot this time at all.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll show you on the log in just a second. Okay, so
on that run we did...
Just prior, that was 399 wheel horsepower.
Okay.
But most importantly, the fueling stayed at a safe, in between that 11 and 12 where it really needs to be. Remember the shape of the red line before, which was wiggle, wiggle, and then whoa out here? Now we have it just chilling. Nice. And then even going too rich here at the very end. So now I can pull a little bit of fuel away. It's funny how much difference that drop in pressure just made. Yeah, I mean, all the difference, because we were going up to 13 with the exact same tune on the car, and now we go no higher than, I mean, it's like 12.2, but then out here, I mean, 11.8. That was like a 12.7. It's almost a full 1 point AFR from decreasing the fuel pressure right now.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. Here we go again. There we go. All right, 422, 406, man. Awesome power. Awesome power. Map look good?
Yep.
Sweet.
Ready to go get some kills, man.
Yep, absolutely.
People are not ready or suspecting of this car, man.
They're not ready.
He's gonna rack up the kills here.
I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Trackstar Mediaworks. I hope you enjoyed this single overhead cam power. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that big thumbs up, and we'll see y'all next episode. Are you even paying attention, Ethan?
No, I'm not.
What the heck? All right, we'll see you next episode. Boom.